announcing the arrival of the former Prime Minister of Malaysia, Tun Dr. Mahathir bin Mohamad. We would now like to invite Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad to briefly summarize the Citizens' Declaration.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good evening to everyone. As you can see, this is a very unusual group of people. There is only one thing common about us. We are all citizens of this country. Whatever may be our beliefs, our ideologies, our particular struggle, that today is not important to us. What is important to us is that we as citizens want to express our worries, our concern about what is happening in the country today. So we are not here as representative of any party, NGOs or grouping. We are the citizens of Malaysia. Now why is it necessary for us to come together in this manner? For a long time now, people in Malaysia are worried and they have expressed their opinion, but then there is no concrete way of implementing their concerns or reacting to their concerns. They come to each and every one of us saying to us, please do something. They are very concerned, please do something. But we talk in different tongues almost. Each one of us express our stand and we agree generally with the concerns of the people and their views that this country is being led by someone who's doing a lot of damage to the country. Damage which may not be able to reverse in the future. If he is allowed to go on, the damage would become worse and worse. So because of that, we have come together with only one issue. That is that we must rid ourselves of Datuk Sri Najib as the Prime Minister of Malaysia. That is what brings us together. That is the purpose of this meeting, so that people in Malaysia can have a focus. They can have a body that they can voice their concerns to. Not just to each other or to some people they know or their own particular leader, but to address someone who represents the peoples of this country. Of course, the people of this country each have their own feelings and objectives, ideologies, etc. But it is quite clear that everyone, irrespective of their ideologies, their parties, their NGOs and all that, they all want one thing, that Najib should cease to become the Prime Minister of Malaysia. And so this group of people have decided that they will come forward and show their commitment. The commitment is in the form of signing a declaration, the same declaration for everyone. And that declaration, of course, includes the removal of Najib and the necessity to implement reforms after he is no longer the Prime Minister. So that is why this very heterogeneous group of people have come together. It is not that about joining the opposition, for example. It's not just joining any particular group. It is just the citizens of Malaysia expressing their views and inviting the peoples of Malaysia to show their support. If they support, to show their support to this body. And then we can have an idea as to the wishes of the people in Malaysia. So we hope that following this, there will be efforts to get more people to sign the declaration. Now I would like to read to you the declaration. It's a bit long, but I hope you will be patient enough to hear me through. Now it is called the Citizens' Declaration. Nowadays, when I pull up like this and you take pictures, you can actually read because you can enlarge it. Okay? Some people were not aware about that possibility. Citizens' Declaration. We, the undersigned citizens of Malaysia, append below our concern over the deteriorating political, economic and social situation in the country. We wish to draw the attention of the people of Malaysia to the damage done to the country under the premiership of Datuk Sri Najib Tun Razak. Under his administration, the country has descended to become one of the 10 most corrupt countries in the world, according to Ernst & Young in their Asia Pacific Fraud Survey Report Series 2013. The 2015 Corruption Perception Index showed Malaysia has dropped 4 places from 50 to 54. This is because Datuk Sri Najib believes that money can ensure his position as Prime Minister of Malaysia. He believes that cash is king. Allocations to all ministries and public institutions, including universities, have been reduced because of shortages of funds. Even when allocations are budgeted for, no money was available. In 2009, he decided to set up a sovereign wealth fund to earn income for the government. He created One Malaysia Development Berhad, which became indebted with 42 billion ringgit of loans which it is unable to repay. It is no longer sovereign wealth funds. It is sovereign debt fund. One MDB borrowed approximately 20 million ringgit to acquire 3 power plant companies for an overpriced 12.1 billion. Despite being awarded new power plant contracts and extension to the expiring power producing concessions, the 1MDB power companies were sold for 9.83 billion, or a loss of 2.27 billion. One MDB invested or lent a total of 1.83 billion US dollars to Petro Saudi International Limited between 2009 and 2011 under the pretext of bogus projects or non-existent assets. Bank Negara Malaysia had demanded 1MDB return the above money to Malaysia as their approval was given based on misinformation submitted by 1MDB. Of this sum, a total of US 1.45 billion was directly and indirectly siphoned off to Good Star Limited and other companies controlled by Low Tech Joe. To hide the missing funds, 1MDB disposed his investments and loans to PSI for US 2.318 billion, claiming to have made a profit of US 488 million. However, no money was returned to Malaysia. Instead, 1MDB claimed it invested the funds in Cayman Islands that was subsequently found to be an unlicensed investment manager. KPMG was sacked as 1MDB's auditors for refusing to confirm the value of the investment in the mysterious Cayman fund. One MDB claimed that the Cayman Islands investment has been fully redeemed. US 1.22 billion was reportedly redeemed on 5th November 2014, but was substantially utilized on the very same day to compensate investment PJS for the termination of options granted to ABA to acquire 49% of one MDB's power companies, which has been sold now. This is a lie because the parent of ABA, International Petroleum Investment Corporation, or IPIC, did not mention receipt of any such payments in its audited accounts published on the London Stock Exchange. Instead, the account stated that one MDB owes IPIC the sum of US 481 million for the termination. One MDB also took another loan of US 975 million from a Deutsche Bank-led consortium in September 2014 for the very same purpose of compensating ABA for the terminated options. The Wall Street Journal has exposed the fact that these money had been paid to a different British Virgin Island entity with a similar name, ABA Investment BJS Limited. They used a similar name to hide the fact that it did not go to the real ABA Investment Company, whose beneficial owner is completely unrelated to IPIC. The simple scam has fooled even the 1MDB auditors, Deloitte Malaysia, into believing that the payments were indeed received by IPIC's ABA. 1MDB announced that it made a second and final 1.1 billion redemption of the Cayman Islands investment in January 2015. Initially, the Prime Minister told Parliament that the sum was held in cash in BSI Bank. BSI Bank, Singapore. However, 2 months later, in May 2015, he informed Parliament that it was not cash, but assets. Subsequently, it was explained that these assets were units, which meant that they were never redeemed in the first place. This proved that 1MDB and the Prime Minister have been consistently lying to the Malaysian public. It also means that the money invested in Petroside Saudi, which was reinvested in Cayman Islands, are still missing and unaccounted for. A former UMNO vice head of Batukawan Division made a police report on the loss of large sums of money by 1MDB. No investigations were carried out by the police. Instead, he was interrogated. The person who reported was interrogated by the police, detained and charged under anti-terrorist law, SOSMA, for sabotage of the Malaysian economy. His lawyer was also arrested and charged under the same law. This had the effect of frightening people from making police reports on the 1MDB. The Wall Street Journal reported that Najib had US $681 million in his private account at M-Bank, Arab Malaysia Bank in Malaysia. Najib denied this at first, but later admitted he had a huge amount of money in his account. He claimed that it was a gift from an Arab. Then that it was a donation to him to help him win the 13th general election in Malaysia. Then that it was given because of his dedication to the fight against Islamic terrorists. He then claimed to have received the money from a Saudi prince, then from the king of Saudi Arabia, who had passed away. Later, a Saudi minister stated there was no record of such a gift by the Saudis. The Saudi minister suggested it was probably a Saudi investment. The amount was small. Najib expressed his intention to sue the Wall Street Journal, but he did not. Instead, he asked his lawyer to ask the Wall Street Journal why it published the report. To this day, the Wall Street Journal continues to report more and more details about the US $681 million he has in his private account. He has not sued WSJ, which he can do in the country WSJ was published. We have another 1 hour more to read. So be patient. Concerned over the huge sum of money in Najib's private account, a task force was set up in Malaysia to investigate the origin of the money. 4 government institutions became members of the task force. They are the police, the Attorney General, Bank Negara, and the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission. Before the task force was able to finish its work, the Attorney General was removed by Najib, claiming that he was sick and could not continue to work. Basically, Najib had misrepresented to the king to get the Attorney General to be replaced. The Public Accounts Committee was basically paralyzed by Najib removing its chairman and members to prevent his investigation of 1MDB. A new chairman, friendly to Najib, was appointed, and he promptly declared that Najib has done nothing wrong. He then appointed a new Attorney General. Shortly after, the new Attorney General dismissed a recommendation by Bank Negara for action to be taken, claiming that nothing in the report showed Najib had done any wrong. Bank Negara appealed, but this was brushed aside. The new Attorney General also dismissed another report by the MACC, the Anti-Corruption Agency. The contents of the report are not revealed, and threats are made against revealing its contents. The new Attorney General has, without valid explanation, dismissed the recommendation of the 2 institutions that possess the powers and expertise in these areas. This dismissal prevented the matter from being determined by a court of law after all the evidence was evaluated. By doing so, the Attorney General has acted as prosecutor and judge. Due process and the rule of law has been denied. The sacked Deputy Prime Minister later revealed that the former Attorney General had shown him proof of Najib's wrongdoings relating to the scandals. At the same time, various foreign government agencies, namely from Switzerland, Singapore, the United States, Hong Kong, and Britain, have initiated investigations in the 1MDB. The press in Malaysia is heavily censored, so that Malaysians have to rely on the foreign press. Yet, when Malaysians discuss or write about the foreign reports, the government, the Inspector General of Police, invited people to make police reports so that the police can carry out questioning and investigation against the person concerned. This is in contrast to the failure of the police, to investigate the police report formally made against Najib, Cholo, and the reports to the Attorney General by Bank Negara and MACC. The Attorney General even threatens to amend the law to provide for jail for life with 10 strokes of the rotan against anyone leaking government papers. This means that crimes committed in the administration can be hidden from the public. The Attorney General claims that a part of the 2.6 billion ringgit, about 2.3 billion, has been returned to the donor or donors. Apart from this statement, no proof has been provided. The people are suffering. Najib's GST and increases in toll rates have increased the cost of living, forcing some businesses to close down and also causing foreign-owned industries to stop operations and relocate to other countries, thus creating unemployment. Despite protests by the people, Najib joined the US-sponsored Trans-Pacific Partnership, which erodes our freedom to make policies and laws suitable to our country. Today, Malaysia's image is badly tarnished. Apart from being classified as one of 10 most corrupt countries, Malaysia is now regarded as undemocratic. There is denial of freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and the people live in fear of arrests and detentions. Security laws are enacted to allow the Prime Minister, and not the King, to declare security areas where anyone could be arrested and detained without trial and tried under procedures that violate normal and fair criminal justice standards. On the other hand, where errors are made in applying these laws by the government officers or where there is a blatant abuse of power, the people are unable to hold them accountable. Whistleblowers are harassed and punished instead of being protected. Other repressive laws are used to stifle free speech and legitimate comment about wrongdoings. The fundamental rights enshrined under the federal constitution have become meaningless. For all these reasons, the undersigned citizens of Malaysia agree and support A. The removal of Dr. Sri Najib Tun Razak as the Prime Minister of Malaysia through non-violent and legally permissible means. Legally permissible. The removal of all those who have acted in concert with him, who have covered up his wrong deeds. C. A repeal of all the recent laws and agreements that violate the fundamental rights guaranteed by the federal constitution and undermine policy choices. And D. A restoration of the integrity of the institutions that have been undermined, such as the police, the MACC, Bank Negara, and the PHC. We call upon all Malaysians, irrespective of race, religion, political affiliation, creed, or parties, young and old, to join us in saving Malaysia from the government headed by Dr. Sri Najib Tun Razak, to pave the way for much needed democratic and institutional reforms, and to restore the important principle of the separation of powers among the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary, which will ensure the independence, credibility, professionalism, and integrity of national institutions. So I will sign this statement, and so will the others, the other more or less 50 people who form the core group of citizens who will take up this matter and respond to the pleas made by the citizens of Malaysia. This is the citizens of Malaysia's declaration. I thank you.
There will be a total of 58 signatories, and we'll call 5 for each group. The first 5 are Tun Dr. Mahathir bin Mohamad, Tun Siti Hasmah, Tun Dr. Ling Leong Sik, Datuk Seri Azmin Ali, and Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin. The next 5 are The next 5, YB Tunku Razali Hamzah, YB Datuk Seri Mukhlis Mahathir, YB Haji Muhammad bin Sabu, YB Lim Kit Siang, and Datuk Haji Mustafa Ali. To join this group is Dato' Ambiga Srinivasan.
Right. 10 seconds. Kita